Tim. Thank you all for joining us today for some exciting news. We are excited to announce our next superintendent, Dr. Carlton Jenkins. We believe we have selected the right leader for our district, someone with a strong reputation of being a very collaborative leader with an excellent track record of academic success for students he has served. Equally as important, he brings to the MMSD family abilities and experience that are in perfect alignment with our leadership profile. Although it is the board who makes the final selection, it was through unprecedented community input that we were able to develop a leadership profile representing the voice of our community that we could use as our guide. We want to thank the community for this very important input. Your involvement is something to be very proud of. And I want to thank our community for your tremendous interest, involvement, and feedback during this process. Whether it was through your comments on our live stream, through your messages and your input in helping develop the leadership profile, your input throughout was invaluable to the board. We also want to thank Dr. Kelly for her sincere consideration and participation. This was an incredibly difficult decision to make. And we felt very fortunate to have such strong candidates interested in being part of the MMSD story. We appreciate everyone's patience and understanding during this process. This is the most important decision any school board makes, and your support was instrumental in helping us make a decision that we are confident is the best for our students, families, and teachers. This is the kind of passion towards education that makes our community so strong, and we are thankful for that. It is important to note that although this decision was difficult, we considered everyone's input very closely using the leadership profile, which was developed with community input. The board took a holistic, comprehensive look at both candidates that was based on a very diverse and intensive information gathering process. This included very extensive background checks and multiple conversations and interviews with individuals who knew each candidate both personally and professionally. While closely reviewing all this information and considering everyone's input, it became evident to the board that one candidate began to emerge as the person who best fit our leadership profile and who was best positioned to move our district forward in a way our community expects. We are confident and excited to have a new superintendent with a proven record of putting students first. So just a little bit about Dr. Jenkins. Dr. Carlton Jenkins is considered an educator extraordinaire. He is currently in his 5th year as superintendent of the Robbinsdale School District in New Hope, Minnesota, which serves a diverse student population of approximately 13,200 students. Dr. Jenkins has held leadership positions in several states, including Wisconsin, Ohio. In addition to 2 superintendencies, his educational leadership roles include Chief Academic Officer, Principal, Assistant Principal, and Physical Education and Health Teacher. He has held leadership positions in Wisconsin, Ohio, and Michigan, including as MMSD Associate Principal for Madison Memorial High School, which is very exciting, and Associate Principal and Principal with the Beloit Public School District in Beloit, Wisconsin. Dr. Jenkins earned his PhD in philosophy and a Master's of Science in Educational Administration degree from the University of Wisconsin-Madison. In addition, he holds a Bachelor's of Science in Health and Physical Education from Mississippi Valley State University. His official start date as the next MMSD superintendent will be August 4th. Dr. Jenkins has an impressive success record in all the school district where he has worked. Significant achievements included increased graduation rates for all students, but most especially minority students, National Blue Ribbon and Green Ribbons, the successful adoption and implementation of curriculums and various programs, a successful school referendum, and the development and implementation of strategic plans. He has emphasized that a culturally relevant curriculum is required to improve academic achievement. He believes that all means all, and that listening is the key to good communication and collaboration. Professional development is required in order to attract and keep high quality educators, and data must accompany empirical evidence to support any vision and goals. Dr. Jenkins' colleagues describe him as an intelligent educator who studies everything. As a collaborative communicator and change agent, his energy level is unmatched. One area for polish may be the need to slow down so others may catch up. However, he has high expectations for himself and holds others accountable for the goals and visions he established. We are so excited to welcome Dr. Jenkins home where he belongs in Madison. And I will go ahead and open it up to questions.
All right, thanks, Gloria. We're going to start with Logan Rogie with the Wisconsin State Journal.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for doing this. So I just want to start out with Gloria. Can you walk me through what qualities or experiences Dr. Jenkins brings that kind of put him ahead of Dr. Kelly during the deliberations?
I think what made him stand out for us was his ability to bring diverse groups of people together. When he talked to us, he talked about the diverse groups of people that he has brought together in really responding to some complex issues and challenges within the school districts he worked, including the union, the communities of color, those people we don't hear from typically, and bringing staff together for the common benefit of all students. I think what's impressive about him is that he keeps talking about students at the center, and he means it. He says it in everything that he talks about. It was always about students at the center, and that's really what's made him stand out for us.
So when was the decision made to hire Dr. Jenkins? Was that the July 2nd closed session meeting? And if so, what was the result of that vote?
It was a unanimous decision. And so we did make a decision, and it took us some time to really work through the contractual information before we were able to release this publicly.
Kind of on that topic, the candidates were publicly named only about a week before the board deliberated them. Do you think that was enough time for the community to digest the two candidates?
I think so. I mean, I think, we have to make these types of decisions when we are really moving with a sense of urgency. And we recognized, given our current circumstances, that in challenges within our school district, that with COVID, reopening up schools, that we really needed to bring in a superintendent as soon as possible. And it was clear to us that we had two strong candidates. And so it wasn't, but we were prepared, right? If we didn't have the two strong candidates, that we would have to figure out whether we have Dr. Jane Belmore stick around as an interim, or we hire a different interim if we did not have strong candidates. The board was prepared to go in that direction, but we had two strong candidates that we felt were clearly fit within MMSD.
Have you discussed with Dr. Belmore on how long she would be willing to stay around to help onboard Dr. Jenkins?
Yeah, definitely. I've been talking to Dr. Belmore daily, and she is willing to, stay on and help with the transition. But those details, we still have to work out the details on what that will look like to help Dr. Jenkins in his transition.
And I was watching a Robbinsdale School Board meeting on Wednesday, and it was mentioned Dr. Jenkins does consulting work as well. Do you know the nature of the consulting work he does, and if he'll continue it in Madison?
Yeah, we have included consulting language within our contract, and he comes with an extensive experience, and it's good to have connections and collaborations with other experts in the field. As long as it does not interfere with his superintendent work here in Madison, he will be able to go out and do some consulting. He actually consults with ALSA, which is the National Superintendent Association of urban superintendents, and he consults and provides mentorship to other superintendents. So this is a great opportunity for Madison to have him go out and explore nationally and bring what's happening nationally, and also use his experience, nationally throughout the country. But really clearly that it does not interfere with his work with MMSD.
And there was a recently completed review of the Robbinsdale area schools by the Minnesota State Auditor. It found no systemic problems with financial management, but had suggested several areas that could be improved. Was this review by the state auditor a factor in the decision at all?
We did. We looked at this very closely. And because the state found no financial irregularities or wrongdoing on the part of Dr. Jenkins, we felt that it was not going to impact our decision. But we did consider it, and we did look into it very closely, and was also really impressed that the board remained confident in his leadership throughout that time of the investigation.
And on a related note, there was also allegations of improper hires last year. I believe an independent investigator cleared Dr. Jenkins of any wrongdoing. Was that investigation a factor in the decision?
Yeah, we looked at that as well. Clearly, I mean, I think he made some decisions that some community members weren't happy with, but that is the role of the superintendent. I think that he was really has been working to diversify the workforce within the school district. And I think when you do that, it does become a challenge, and people will push back when you are trying to change systemic challenges and issues within an institution like a school district. And so it was something that we looked into very closely as well.
And one last question on an unrelated note. I see that the 2 referendums are on the agenda for a special meeting on Monday. Will the board be voting on authorizing those referendums Monday?
Yes, we will.
All right, that's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you, Logan.
Thank you, Logan. Next up is Danny Maxwell with Channel 27.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for doing this. I appreciate it. I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit more about Dr. Jenkins' time in Madison and Beloit and the impact he had there on those local communities while he was an administrator there.
Yeah, what I can say is that we've received a significant amount of emails from students and parents from Beloit, and even here locally when he was here, and how impressed people were and the impact that he made to his students. So it was really interesting to see the impact and the emails of support to hire Dr. Jenkins from our local communities, including Beloit. So a lot of good work. I mean, he left Madison to explore bigger and better opportunities and to gain the experience. And it's just time for him, from hearing from him, is to come back home and to bring together all the experience and knowledge that he was able to obtain in the other districts that he worked in, back to Madison, where he first started his career in education. So I think that all around, great feedback from all those parents and teachers that he's worked with in the past, and students that he significantly impacted, really touched home for many of the board members.
I was wondering if Dr. Jenkins would be involved in forming of the finalized plan for fall in regards to the pandemic and how school will work at MMSD schools.
Yeah, he definitely will. That was some of the questions we asked during the process, was how do we transition after COVID or during COVID to open up schools again? And he will immediately start working with Dr. Jane Belmore and her leadership team in being part of that process. And so I think it's going to be very important. He's starting August 4th. So we will have to really move urgently to get him on board and get him prepared to open our schools up, hopefully in the fall.
Then will the final plan kind of be formed before that time frame, the August 4th, or are you expecting it a little bit later? I know we kind of have a preliminary plan in place, but are there any final details that still need to be worked out, and what's the timeline on that?
Yeah, a lot of work has been done. I mean, our staff, our leadership team throughout MMSD, Dr. Jane Belmore, that's all they have been focused on. So a lot of great work has happened. And I think bringing him on board, we will just bring that on as well. And he will help us in that transition, bringing his experience from all of his experiences to Madison, and helping us, really fine tune and cover, make decisions on what current gaps we have, but doing it in partnership with Dr. Jane Belmore and her leadership team and staff of MMSD, because a significant amount of work has been done already.
And one more, I apologize if you went over this at the very beginning, but it took me a minute to hop on, so I missed the beginning of what you were talking about, Gloria. But did you kind of go through contract details and what he's being paid and the years in the contract?
We did not talk about those details. I believe we landed on 272 salary. And it's a 5-year contract, if I'm correct.
Okay, a 5-year contract. Is a 5-year contract pretty standard, or is that a little bit longer than the board has seen in the past? And are you expecting, since Dr. Jenkins first started his career here in Madison, that he would be here pretty long term?
Yeah, so it's a typical time frame. That's the same, very similar contract that we had with Dr. Cheatham and former superintendents, and so it is pretty much the same, yeah. So we'll see.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have. Thank you, guys.
So Gloria, we don't have any other reporters indicating questions unless anyone wants to chime in now. Please do so.
Actually, Tim, I just want to refer to Sherry to make sure I gave that time frame correct.
Gloria, it is actually a 2-year contract.
Oh, okay.
With 1-year renewals.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, so you said Dr. Jenkins' contract is just 2 years, not 5?
It's a 2-year contract with 1-year renewals built in. It's the mandated state statute with regard to superintendent contracts. It follows the statute.
Okay, thanks for clarifying.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Thank you, Danny. Are there any other questions?
It's Logan from the State Journal. Could I ask one more, please?
Please.
Sure.
So obviously a big part of a superintendent starting the job is getting to know the staff, the community, the district. In the middle of a pandemic, that's going to look different, with social distancing and limits on gatherings. How will the district help Dr. Jenkins get to learn the community and get to learn the district?
Sure, I think we're going to do a lot of Zoom meetings. And I think that he will be making a couple of visits before his start date. But we've already started connecting him with community leaders. And so he will be making those contacts. But a lot of our conversations will be conducted via Zoom.
All right, and then just want to confirm the salary was $272,000 annually, correct?
Yes, is that correct, Sherry? Do I have that number right?
Yes, you have that number right.
I believe Dr. Gutierrez was slated to make $250,000 annually. That's an increase that you're offering to Dr. Jenkins. Can you talk about why, like what the difference is, why there's that difference?
Yeah, I mean, I think Dr. Jenkins comes with a lot of experience. And I think just from our perspective, and I think Dr. Gutierrez had a lot of the great qualities that we were looking for, but did not have the extensive experience as Dr. Jenkins. And so I think we compare that experience, and that's how we got to the 272.
All right, thank you.
Are there any other questions? All right, Gloria, you can wrap it up. I think that's it.
All right. Thank you all for joining us.